The world is transfixed by a breaking news alert. A Philippine supply ship is cornered by the Chinese Coast Guard in the South China Sea. The footage is raw, an aging Philippine vessel dwarfed by massive Chinese ships, water cannons at the ready, horns blare, warnings echo, and tension hangs thick in the air. This is no drill, it's a real standoff in one of the world's most contested waters. Every move could spark a wider conflict. On board, Filipino sailors and Marines are on a mission: deliver vital supplies to comrades stationed on a beached warship, an outpost of sovereignty. But China sees this as a provocation, forming a tight blockade. The Filipino captain stands resolute, knowing retreat would mean surrendering national rights. The world watches, aware that a single misstep could trigger a global crisis. The South China Sea is a lifeline for global trade. Any conflict here would send shockwaves through the world economy. For the Philippines, it's personal. These are their fishing grounds, their exclusive economic zone. The blockade threatens the livelihoods of thousands of Filipino families. Every radio call is tense, every ship's movement scrutinized by military commands far away. The United States, a treaty ally, monitors closely. One shot could invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty, drawing in superpowers. The sailors carry more than supplies. They bear the weight of their nation's honor and the region's fragile peace. This standoff is a microcosm of a decades-long struggle for control. The world waits. Will diplomacy prevail, or will disaster unfold? The turquoise waves conceal a powder keg. The fate of the region hangs in the balance. The next move could change history. The stakes have never been higher. The world holds its breath. At the heart of this standoff is the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting World War II-era ship intentionally grounded on Second Thomas Shoal in 1999. It's more than a decaying hulk. It's a commissioned Philippine Navy vessel, a symbol of Manila's claim. Filipino Marines endure isolation and hardship aboard, their presence a living marker of sovereignty. China calls the ship's presence illegal and wants it gone, using blockades and harassment to force abandonment. Chinese ships patrol relentlessly, using water cannons and dangerous maneuvers to block resupply. Every supply run is a high-stakes mission into hostile waters. The Sierra Madre stands as a testament to the Philippines' determination to defend its rights. It's a symbol of defiance against a giant neighbor's expansion. The ship's rust mirrors regional instability, but the Marines' resolve reflects the enduring spirit of a people unwilling to be pushed out. The fate of this battered vessel is now tied to the future of the entire South China Sea. The world's attention is fixed on this unlikely outpost. The struggle here is about more than territory, it's about national dignity. The Sierra Madre endures, a stubborn sentinel in contested waters. China claims nearly the entire South China Sea, using its 9-dash line to assert sweeping control. This claim cuts deep into the exclusive economic zones of neighbors like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, declaring China's claim invalid under international law. China rejected the ruling and intensified its activities, ignoring legal boundaries. Filipino fishermen now face harassment, boats rammed, nets cut, catches seized. The sea that once fed them is now a place of fear. China's defiance undermines the rules-based order and sets a dangerous precedent. Regional countries face a stark choice: yield to China or risk confrontation. The shadow of the 9-dash line looms over daily life. The struggle is not just legal, it's about survival and national pride. The stakes are existential for those who call these waters home. The world watches as the rules of the sea are tested. The Philippines cannot match China's military might head-on. Instead, it's embracing asymmetric defense, making any attack too costly for the aggressor. Like a porcupine's quills, the strategy aims to deter, not defeat, a larger foe. The focus shifts to mobile anti-ship missiles, swarms of fast attack craft, drones, and undersea mines. The goal: turn the Philippine archipelago into a fortress, a no-go zone for invaders. This requires new doctrine, training, and deeper U.S. partnership. The shift is profound, moving from internal security to external maritime defense. The aim is not to provoke war, but to prevent it. By raising the cost of aggression, the Philippines hopes to change Beijing's calculus. The message: any attempt to seize territory will come at a staggering price. Asymmetric defense is the new reality in the South China Sea. Enter the U.S. proposal, championed by Senator Marco Rubio, to accelerate the Philippines' defensive transformation. The plan isn't just about selling weapons, it's about building a credible deterrent. U.S. funding would provide state-of-the-art anti-ship missiles, drones, radar, sea mines, and air defense systems. The focus is on rapid, effective implementation of the Porcupine strategy. Joint training and expanded exercises like Balikatan deepen the alliance and ensure seamless cooperation. U.S. advisors help integrate new technologies and doctrines. The proposal clarifies that any attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea would trigger U.S. defense commitments. This removes ambiguity and sends a clear message to Beijing. The partnership is evolving from paper alliance to practical operational cooperation. The Philippines is being equipped to defend itself and to deter aggression. The stakes are high, but so is the resolve. The U.S. stands firmly with its ally. The region's security depends on credible deterrence. The effects of this partnership are already visible. Filipino and American troops train side by side, mastering new missile systems and tactics. Strategic bases in Luzon and Palawan are upgraded, serving as hubs for joint operations and disaster response. Fishermen now see more frequent patrols, and new surveillance towers rise along the coast. Local economies benefit from construction and visiting forces. The arrival of advanced missiles and patrol vessels marks a turning point for the Philippine military. A new generation of officers is trained to operate with U.S. counterparts, mastering complex technologies. Balikatan exercises grow larger and more sophisticated, including live fire drills in the South China Sea. The transformation is not just about hardware, it's about building lasting capacity and confidence. The alliance is stronger, the deterrent more credible. The Philippines is no longer alone in defending its sovereignty. The region takes notice. A new era of cooperation is underway. Supporters argue that strengthening the Philippines is the surest path to peace. Weakness, they say, invites aggression. Credible defense restores deterrence. A stronger Philippines, backed by the U.S., raises the cost of conflict for China. This bolsters regional stability and secures vital sea lanes for global trade. For Filipinos, it's about protecting resources, fish, oil, and gas, and national dignity. The alliance reassures other U.S. partners in the region, reinforcing a free and open Indo-Pacific. Investing in defense is seen as essential to safeguarding sovereignty and prosperity. The message "peace through strength" is not just a slogan, it's a necessity. The U.S. Philippines alliance stands as a bulwark against coercion. The stakes are national survival and regional order. A credible deterrent is the best guarantee against conflict. Critics warn that rapid militarization could provoke China, risking escalation instead of deterrence. Some Filipinos fear overdependence on the U.S., seeing echoes of colonialism and loss of autonomy. There's concern that the Philippines could become a proxy battleground in a great power rivalry. ASEAN unity may suffer, as Manila's pivot to Washington could fracture regional consensus. The financial burden of sustained defense spending is daunting for a developing nation. Critics caution that military solutions could divert resources from urgent domestic needs. The path to security, they argue, must balance defense with diplomacy and development. The South China Sea stands at a crossroads. The strategy of arming the Philippines offers hope for deterrence, but also risks escalation. Each new missile, each exercise, could be seen as provocation by Beijing. The region teeters between stability and crisis. True security will require not just military strength, but persistent diplomacy and international cooperation. The challenge: deter conflict without igniting it. The fate of the region, and the world's busiest waters, hangs in the balance. For now, the South China Sea remains on a knife's edge.